I'll carry the rest of the presentation now, or at least the visual part of the presentation. So we'll jump into the second part that I was building up to, where I'm going to just kind of talk about the must-do experiences in Spain. I spent some time today reflecting on what I think is, the must-dos, and it comes from either maybe something you didn't think about before, or something that really captures a lot of Spain's best ofs. And so we'll take a look at that, and then I'll jump back to the in-person on the screen as I am now, and we'll take care of any questions. For Zoomers, if you have any questions on the Zoom, you can just pop those into the chat, and then I'll take a look at the chat and I'll do a roundup at the end. Back to Spain. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger voice. Man, that voice has been coming out a lot today. It's getting a lot of use. Maybe we should do a talk on Austria next time. But for tonight, we're going to talk about Spain. So, I've been talking about the Canary Islands a number of times before we got to the raffle. I just want to come back to the Canary Islands again and just show a few more pictures of the Canaries. I mean, this is an island chain in the Atlantic Ocean, so obviously we're going to see lots of coast, we're going to see lots of beach, the water, but look at those cacti, look at those aloe vera, look at the fog rolling in over those green hills. There's some flowers in the landscapes, that classic terracotta roof style that you find across the Spanish-speaking world. So I would say check out the islands. Just like I would say planning a trip to Hawaii, maybe pick one or two islands and focus on that. Don't try to take all of the islands in, a full smorgasbord, unless you're on a cruise or something. But if you're going to be taking a approach of doing the islands on the land, focus on a relaxing place, island time, and maybe we could look to a small tour. I have experience setting up folks with walking tours on the island, and there's a number of different ranges from gentle to things that are a little bit more going to get your heart rate up and going. But anyway, the Canary Islands, there's just definitely a lot to on offer. This would be a cruise of the Canary Islands. This is an 8-day cruise with a French operator called Cross Europe. They specialize a bit more in river cruising, but do have a few marine cruises like this one on their ship that's called the MV La Belle des Océans. Oh, you get to hear me speak French today. Oh, très bien. So some activities are going to be included. In fact, all the activities are included when you book with Cross Europe. They also include Wi-Fi, the meals and the drinks are included. During lunch and supper, it's free-flowing drinks, and so you're going to be able to keep your drinks going during lunch and dinner, no problems. Afterwards, they have a very reasonably priced bar. North Americans have just kind of discovered the Cross Europe brand for the last couple of years, and some people don't like them. They say, oh, they're too French. Well, it's a French-owned company. If the thought of drinking French wine and eating French food and receiving French service does nothing for you, then maybe you should be looking at another line, and that's what we can do. But if you do like those things, if you don't need the buffets or the big drink packages, it can be a great cruise line to go with. Not only do you get all that French service, but you get it at a pretty good price as well, especially compared to other river cruise category trips. This one's currently on at 3,067 US based on double occupancy. They do have a number of ships that have solo cabins. I've been able to help people that need a solo cabin because they're traveling by themselves, or I've had situations where we've got two adult couples, and mother-in-law is tagging along, so mother-in-law needs a solo cabin. So this can be a great tour operator, a great cruise line to look at for those types of scenarios also. Wanted to press on to the Camino. I have some extra special content for Camino because it comes from some audience members tonight. But the Camino, when people talk about walking the Camino, I like to say that that can mean a number of things. The full Camino is the St. James Way, and it starts in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which is in France, right on the border of Spain. and it goes all across that northern coast. And it typically takes like 40 days. It's like going on Survivor. It is a commitment, and it is a pilgrimage where you're walking from place to place and you're following these yellow shells. That is the guidepost. And pilgrims have been doing this St. James Way for like since the beginning, let's say. But I just like to make sure that people know that there are other caminos as well, and that's something that I can, of course, do, inform you of if you're interested about it. Maybe you've done this Camino and you want to do another Camino, or you just want something different. And so we could look at the Portuguese Camino, for example, which starts in Porto, Portugal, and works its way north up to Santiago. So you still finish in Santiago de Compostela, but you come at it from a slightly different way. And so, yeah, there's lots of pilgrimages, there's lots of walking trips that you can do across Europe. And hey, if you're like me and the thought about walking and getting blisters on your feet, ew, gross. Hey, guess what? We'll just throw you on the food tour I did, and then you can get driven around in the minivan and just eat to your heart's content. How wonderful. So there is a pilgrimage for you. But this is Jamie and Ruth Ann's Camino, some pictures that I had them send over. And I like the first picture. I'll tell you what I like about it, and then Jamie, Ruth Ann, if you have anything to chime in on, we'll give you some space. But I like this first picture because of the green hills. And then when we think about that notion of green Spain, that to me really came to life in this picture. And I like this picture with the shell, of course, because we see that as the guidepost. So I'm not sure. It looks like the microphone here at the library is not on, so I don't know if that could get popped on, because I was just curious if Jamie and Ruth Ann had anything they wanted to add about these pictures. So maybe we can get the microphone turned on and hear what they have to say. Awesome. It looks like it's on. So Jamie and Ruth Ann, I hope I'm not putting you on the spot, but anything extra that you wanted to maybe mention about these pictures?
No, the one of the valley is the very first day when we were up by Saint Jean de Pied, and the one on the right hand was the same spot that you were in when you went to the end of the earth. That's
Finisterre.
mile 0. Finisterre. Yes, and we took advice from someone in Indian Head who'd already hiked the trail to go and take a bus tour there. For us, almost going there was more important than getting to the cathedral. I think that it completed the trip so much more, and in a week that we enjoyed being there as much as the last day of our hike. But it was quite an incredible trip. We ate very well, we drank very well. Jamie walked more than I did. We didn't walk. It was 18 days, I think my notes say, and we didn't walk the entire way. Some of the industrial areas we managed to be bused through and things like that, but it was a fabulous trip.
Wonderful. And what time of year did you do this?
October.
Perfect. So again, it just goes to show that these destinations can be explored a little bit longer. And while I have you here, I love the architecture of the Guggenheim Museum. Did you folks go inside the Guggenheim for a look?
Yes, we did. We spent 5 days in Bilbao before that was our meeting place. And we loved Bilbao. And we went to the Guggenheim once. Their art collection is actually fairly poor. But being outside the building itself was pretty incredible. And to read the story along the wharf there, where you're seeing along the waterfront of the river, was a shipbuilding area. And to see how that area has been totally transformed by the building of the Guggenheim was pretty incredible.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your insights. This completes what I put in for your pictures that you send through, folks. But thank you very much for that. Jamie, did you have anything to add in before we move forward?
Well, you guys did a great job.
All right, perfect. That's sayonara from him, folks. So we'll move forward. Look at all that delicious food, though. More of those delicious Spanish pintos or tapas, those finger foods. Hey, so if you want to walk the Camino, but you don't want to do the whole Camino, one of the most popular items that I book for people is this tour. It's called Walk the Camino de Santiago, but it is the last 8 days, final 100 kilometers. And so it starts in the town of Sarria, and you can see it moves you along the way. And so while you're walking, your bags are being moved for you. And so all you got to do is the walking. So just A to B to C to D and so on and so forth. And then you get that satisfaction of completing the pilgrimage and arriving in Santiago de Compostela at the end. And this is a trip right now that has several departures a month. It starts in April, it goes through until quite late in autumn. Again, I would just keep in mind that the summer temperatures, even though it's northern Spain, can get quite hot. So maybe thinking about seasonal travel can be nice. This can also be booked with a departure from Madrid. So if you would like to start the trip in Madrid, and then from Madrid go up to Sarria, and then that would be done by train, and then from Sarria complete the Camino by walking to Santiago, it can be booked that way. So when we're setting you up with this one, we'll just talk about whether you want to start off in Madrid or in Sarria. Okay, cool. Let's continue. This is, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I am in the business of self-promotion. And sometimes I think I have a really cool idea or something that maybe not a lot of people know about. And I don't think a lot of people know about the fact that you can go river cruising in Spain. We typically think about river cruising. We think about the big European riverways that we've heard about, the Rhine and the Danube, and those are located up in Central Europe. Well, guess what, folks? There is a river in Spain, and I know how to get you on it. It is called the Guadalquivir River, and the Guadalquivir River is found in Andalusia. It's located down in the southwest. It starts in Jerez, which is located near Cadiz, and it goes into Seville. If you do this river cruise, you're embarking and disembarking in Seville, and you're sailing around that area. Again, this area is going to be rich in that Arabic, that Moorish influence, but it's also a great area. If you are a sherry lover, if you like to drink sherry, I think this trip would be a must. Let's just take a quick look at what that would look like from the perspective of the map. You can see Seville, or as it's listed here, Sevilla, and then you would go south out towards the Mediterranean, but also inland towards Cordoba. So this river cruise would be also with Cross Europe, so that French service and French plated foods. It's on their ship, the MS La Belle de Cadiz, and the activities are included. Wi-Fi is included, meals, drinks, everything's included. Right now it's on sale. There are some departures as low as $14.71 USD per person based on double. That's a great deal for a full week river cruise in Spain. And I think it would be a great compliment if you did a week of sightseeing in the north and then you wanted to go down south and check out something of a different vibe. Again, just to let you know, 1471, there's some select departures at the moment that are available at that price. That price won't last long. Most times the sale price hovers around 1,800 per person USD, which I still don't think is a bad deal. And again, no tipping on this cruise line. I should have mentioned that as well with Canary Islands. They don't want your extra money. I got one other cruise, my goodness. I have one extra tour product I just wanted to show. And if I'm educating about travel, of course, I want you to know about what real opportunities would look like. This would be a real opportunity for someone who came to me and said, I want to go to Spain. I might just go to Spain once in my life, and I kind of want to do it all. And it's what I call the butterfly approach. And if you tilt your head, you might see what I mean. And so this trip starts and ends in Madrid, and it has 2 cycles. You can actually just book the northern part, a 1 week northern Spain, and that would take you up to Logroño. That's that medieval town that I was telling you about with those delicious tapas. So you can eat your way through that. That's also in the heart of the La Rioja wine district. And so you can go to the bodegas and you can have all that delicious Spanish wine. I'm not telling you you have to, but if you wanted to, you could. And also, Logroño is kind of cool too. There's an interesting medieval history to witch trials, if that does anything for you. And then again, you get up to that coastal area, that Basque country, all that delicious food. San Sebastian has a huge amount of Michelin star restaurants, but also just really great seafood, street food, all of that. And then, of course, the South is included on this, and that's going to give you those Moorish influences, Andalusia, seeing the Granada, the Alhambra, Cordoba, Seville. It's all in there. And this is using a lot of Spain's high-speed rails. So great way to get around. It's typically about 4 departures a month. It's already quite booked up for spring, but we have a few dates that are available. 41.39. It's on sale. There's a big sale with G Adventures this month, up to 25% off on their tours if you book by the end of January for quite a number of 2024 departures. They want to get you going places, and I want to help you go there. But before I go, I have a few closing remarks for you. Get out your iPhones or get out your notepad, however you take a note, because I have 2 upcoming talks that we've planned with Indian Head Library to keep the travel education going this winter. Again, we'll be doing these from Zoom. So if you know anybody who might be interested from outside of the area, just direct them to my website. I created a travel info section over the holidays. So that's available. You can go up there and take a look at all the talks, including the Indian Head Library presentations. And then the Zoom link is there. And then you can just send the link to anybody you know who might be interested. Please, really do help spread the word. Let's get the word out for February 15th for the Galapagos Islands. Not only is this an extraordinary destination, but I'll be speaking with a lady from here in Moose Jaw. I'll be doing an interview style presentation. We'll be looking at her pictures. She did an expedition style cruise with Herdegruten, so we'll hear about that. And what else can I say about that? Her name's Michelle, and she's recently retired. I know her through a number of connections in the city, but she was looking for a retirement trip, and she sure did find one with the Galapagos. So we're going to hear about that on February 15th. And then I will be back on March 13th to unpack the trip I took to the Amazon. So I can't help but notice that we really have a shift. We're kind of moving away from some European destinations and turning our attention to South America, to some great destinations for Spanish-speaking lovers, but also people that love getting up close and personal with nature. And so I'll unpack the river cruise I did in the Amazon this past summer. I'll show you pictures of what that ship looked like, the Amatista, what my day-to-day was like in the Amazon, what I ate in the Amazon, snakes that I saw in the Amazon, people I met in the Amazon, the amazing women I met in the Amazon. Oh my God, the women rule the rule the roost, and you will find out why when you come on March the 13th. If you need a piece of me between now and then, guess what? I'm on my website. You can zip on over to destinationwhatever.com. I can help you out with a custom itinerary, small group tour planning, number of sales again happening right now in January. It's a great time for setting your 2024 intentions. Adventure travel and cruising. I am here. I am #1. And this is what my website looks like. So again, if you just head over to the travel info session or direct anybody to the travel info session, you can take a look at some upcoming talks. Like I said, the Indian Head ones are there. Next Wednesday, I'll also be doing an afternoon, half an hour Zoom presentation about my trip to Madagascar. So if you're interested in taking a look at that nature hotspot, the Vanilla Island of Africa, I will be unpackaging that next week. But otherwise, yeah, you can keep in touch through my website. I've got information there again about that great adventure sale with up to 25% off on departures for small group tours. You got to book that by January 31st. So head on over and take a look if you're interested. And take a look at that video looking for an awesome travel agent, because it's a nice little 1-minute video I whipped up over the holidays, and it has a lot of fast-paced clips, but it shows me in like 6, 7 countries on 3 or 4 different continents. And if you are thinking, hey, I got to tell my great aunt Matilda about this cool travel agent, or whoever you want to tell, you can basically send them that link. I don't know where I'm going, folks. I'm going towards the end. Yes, my contact information, me in a sea of telephones, and finally, you can get that contact info on my website. And finally, just me saying gracias. It's the Spanish way of saying thank you. A few pictures of me from Spain to wrap up. On the left, I'm up in Samos in in the green area of Spain. And in the right, it's me on my Spanish food tour. People say, what was the best thing you ate on that Spanish food tour? Well, I'm showing it to you here. I wish I had a better picture, but it's a fig that has been stuffed with goat cheese and thyme and marinated in balsamic vinegar and slow roasted. And that was just heavenly. Wow, I need a siesta. This is a great time to check in and see, do we have any questions from, we'll start with the library and then we'll look at chat. So library people, this is your time to ask any questions. I can hear you. Yes. I'm not hearing any questions from folks. Maybe you're good to go tonight. I'm not seeing.
All good here in India. Yeah, everyone enjoyed your presentation.
Yeah, good. We had great timing tonight too. We've got a lot done in an hour. I do have a question that's coming in from Carla R. I kind of feel like I'm in my Casey Kasem voice here with Carla R tonight on the airwaves. Carla R asked, how expensive are the accommodations in the Canary Islands compared to the mainland? It's a great question. The prices can differ in the Canary Islands. Some people find them to be a bit more economical. And that's really great because in general, Spain can be a more economical part of Europe. So it's kind of economical on top of economical. And one thing that can appeal to people who want to spend some time in the Canary Islands are to do like a self-catering style. Sometimes we call that long stay. People like to go over and rather than an apartment where it might just be your bedroom, these accommodations would offer a place where you can make some food, maybe do your laundry. Again, kind of have your own like studio apartment concept, and then just enjoy the vibes in the Canary Islands. Carla, I know you also asked a question about tapas in Spain, and I just simply would say, if it wasn't clear from my presentation already, I loved Logroño. Logroño was my hotspot for tapas. I would definitely suggest going there. Thank you. Awesome. Great. I thank you all. Look, folks, I just wanted to say that I know we've got a few other presentations, but as always, I have such gratitude for the Indian Head Library. I know it's a two-way love fest between us, but really I love having the opportunity to get in front of you folks, especially when the weather has just been so horrid as of late. My battery was dead on Saturday, both mentally and automotively. But anyway, we're getting up and running, and I'm here to help you do whatever you need to do. Just before I wrap up, I just wanted to say that let me know as well if you have any destination requests. That was something that came to my attention from the last time we had a presentation, because I can pretty much talk about any place I've been, and if I haven't been there, I know people that I can bring in through Zoom as guest speakers and whatnot. So if you're looking to hear about a place, or maybe you have a trip you would like to help, you'd like to share, and maybe I can help communicate that story, just reach out through the website. Otherwise, I will put a video up as well of tonight's presentation if you know anybody who missed it and might like a copy. So thank you so much, everybody. Muchas gracias and buenos noches.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye-bye.